to We're Smarter Than This, a Star
Uh,
Wars review series. My name is Bronson. I am joined by the always lovely Aaron Reynolds.
hey, thank you,
How you
Bronson.
doing,
I
man?
appreciate it. I'm doing okay. I'm doing as okay as I can be for watching 8 Star Wars movies in sucking up all of my free time.
To be fair, it's a good way to burn your free time. I
It's
mean,
not bad.
if you're
I
good,
could be doing some better stuff, but hey, you know
could
what? I'm enjoying this.
could be playing video games. I know, playing video games.
Whatever.
Could be
Uh,
doing a lot of stuff. I understand that.
Let me tell you, the most recent one I went through was interesting.
Okay, how
Uh,
so? How so?
well, so this episode is about Last Jedi,
Yes, yes.
and we're like a few days away from Rise of Skywalker coming out, and
3 for you, 4 for me. Go on.
yeah, so this is what spawned like the whole review series, and it's all been leading up to this movie, which is still being talked about. I checked this
Just-
morning.
Just
I was just browsing R all on Reddit, and there it was, a full-length discussion about the need or lack thereof of certain characters in that movie and what the hell it was about. We are still talking about it. We are still going to be talking about it. I saw one commenter say that apparently Empire was received in a somewhat similar fashion.
yeah, like I keep hearing from people who were around at the time. By the way, check your phone. I need to comment something there.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember Empire, like people who were around at the time saying Empire had a very similar, like people like were talking the same way about Empire, being like, "Oh, it sucks, it sucks so much dick."
There's something else going on with this movie, though, and I. So I feel like we should start at the beginning.
Okay,
Right?
yeah,
I
of
think
course.
we need to go through it and process
Need
our
to
feelings.
process all the Star Wars.
I watched it once in theaters,
Okay.
and then I just didn't bother. I didn't really think much about Star Wars again up until we decided to do this. So it was actually nice to finally sit down, take some time, and really watch this again.
And just go through all the Star Wars. You
Just
have lived
go
the
through the
Star
various
Wars.
emotions. Like, what? It's very funny because you watch the original trilogy as a kid, and then for us, like we watched the prequels, as we were starting to become teenagers around that time, maybe a little before that, and then watching these new movies now, watching them all at once, like where we're at in life, has been a very interesting thing to do, but it doesn't take away the weirdness of this movie, The Last Jedi. So
No, like
yeah.
there's this. Okay, so this movie for me as a whole has been like it's a lot of peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
Like the valleys are as low as you can possibly go for the franchise, besides maybe Episode 2, and they're really rough to get through. But the
Sure.
but the peaks are so fucking good. Like I've been having this argument on the internet like forever with a series of neckbeards, fellow neckbeards in all honesty, even though I
Oh,
shaved
really?
mine.
Did you shave it so you wouldn't have to affiliate yourself after having seen these movies?
I don't share the same opinion as most of the neckbeards, so I kind of had to.
Okay.
They
You looked
kicked
in the mirror, it's like, this is wrong.
they kicked me out of their tribe.
You're no longer a part of this council.
I am no longer a part of the Neckbeard Council. So yeah, hashtag free the neckbeards.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I want to start at the beginning of
Okay,
this
yeah.
movie.
So it starts out
Because
that space flight, right? Yeah, the big fucking like Resistance versus First Order battle, and they send just Poe out.
Well, it starts with just Poe, and immediately the Disney Marvel influence makes itself known.
Yeah, like in the last film, if you did not, so for those of us who you guys haven't watched our Force Awakens video yet, that's going up on Tuesday.
Yeah.
But for those of you who haven't watched our Force Awakens video yet, we talked about how Marvel, in the time between the prequels and now, Marvel became kind of the big storytelling blockbuster enterprise in movies, and because of that, Disney was like, okay, well, we need to make a modern day blockbuster. Modern day blockbusters have this quippy bullshit. So
People love that shit.
People love that quippy bullshit. I mean,
and they're not wrong.
They're not, because every time I have left one of these movies, until I get to the internet's opinion of it, as the Geth-like amorphous blob that it is, it is like, oh, it's fucking great. Oh, it's, oh, I love that line. I love, like, that's not how the Force works. That's one of the most quoted lines. The all kinds of shit.
But it just doesn't feel Star Warsy in my mind. I don't know. But anyway, this line where he was like pretending not to be able to hear General Hux, it's like, hello? Yeah, I'll hold.
Yeah, that's something like you would expect out of a fucking Iron Man movie, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's exactly what you would expect out of a fucking Iron Man movie.
So like again, it's not bad. It's just weird. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
That like
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, like once again, not bad, but and I did enjoy it. Like it was funny. It's just not quintessential Star Wars, I guess, is the best way I would I guess qualify it.
I guess we should just stop expecting that, right?
I mean, yeah, we kind of should have after the first one of these, and the Star Wars storyline of different stuff that went down, but there is a subsect of Star Wars fan who never left like 1980.
I mean, sure.
Like, and I understand why, but it's still like, please fucking grow up a little bit, my God.
Just
not even a whole lot, just a little bit.
Change is hard.
Just change. Well, that is what this movie is all about. the kill the past if you have to.
Oh, right. Yes.
And like I said, I don't love every part of this movie, God knows. And like the intro here, the fight scene itself is cool, if a little melodramatic, but like, yeah, that scene was very, very Marvel. It was very Marvel, and it was very jokey, and it was like, and like I believe Poe can do it because of the last movie.
Right, he's already proved he's really good.
He has proved he is a badass pilot.
Yeah.
No fucking doubt in my mind. Like, I completely believe Poe can do it. It's more of a matter of, like, did it really need to go on this long? Like, you could have easily done, like stalled this in another way or something like that. And it's just like
I don't know.
It was funny, but it was also just like, it's Star Wars for a new generation. And I know that there is a subsect of fan who, some people are going to be like us and enjoy it and just take it for what it is, and then there's going to be a subsect of people who are massively, massively butthurt over it.
Well, okay, so my problem with this movie starts pretty much at this point, because they take down all the cannons on the Dreadnought, and Poe is like, we don't get a chance to do this very often. Let's bring in the bombers, and Leia comes in and is like, do not do that. Let's get out of here. We have everyone evacuated from the base that they're attacking. Let's go. Poe's like, no, come on. How often do we get a shot? And then shuts his radio off, and then they just do it. No one seemed to really communicate in this situation. I know we weren't there, but they had to have been like at a table somewhere, and they were discussing the plan and possible options, right?
You would think.
Why is there this disconnect all of a sudden?
Also, why can't Leia just get on the fucking comms and be like, don't listen to that fucking idiot?
Right. Like, he turned his radio off, but the rest of them...
Yeah, like...
they all turn their radios off? I doubt it.
It makes no sense.
Right.
No, it makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Along with that not making any goddamn sense.
Also, Leia could have just said, "You are going to kill a lot of people."
Yeah.
If she had just said that, then
Yeah, she could have just been like, yo, this is going to cause us to lose our entire fucking bombing fleet, you goddamn idiot.
yep.
Please do not do this, you moron.
There's a few ways they could have handled that, and they just didn't. And
Right.
that's a theme in at least half of this movie. So
that like, hey, just listen to your commanding officer.
that's the intended thing, but what it actually is, hey, fucking communicate with each other, be on the same page from the start, and that starts with leadership.
Right.
And they never address the leadership stuff. The movie says, listen to your superiors. And
great,
it's like,
great message for kids.
What fucking first order bullshit is this? Anyway, we'll get to that later, but this is the start.
Great message for the children.
So okay.
Oh Lord.
So that happened. So now they're on the run.
Right. So now they're on the run, which is this movie-long chase scene almost, where it's like, okay, so their ship is not fast enough to keep up, but they'll eventually run out of fuel. And they don't tell you the twist on why they keep doing this. They just keep dragging it out. And then...
Jump the lights once.
But attract them.
Yep.
Through light speed. And they're like, how the fuck do you attract through light speed? But then, you know, they tell you that later.
Right.
And then you have back on... So this is the way... This I'm going to spoil part of my review, I guess, here, where, like, all the stuff with the Jedi and Rey I really genuinely enjoy.
Yeah.
Every other part of this movie kind of sucks.
Sure.
Like, there's a couple of scenes that stand out, but otherwise, like, oh, God. Every single time that, like, Rey was on the screen and it was Luke, I was having a great time. Old man Luke, fantastic.
We're talking about the Force. We're talking about the Jedi.
Yeah, like, I love old man jaded Luke.
Jaded ass Luke.
Like,
so, like, done.
Like, I love, like, never meet your heroes Luke.
Yeah.
It was probably one of the best. Like, I love how she's, like, hands with lightsaber and just throws it over the cliff. Like, the first time I watched that, I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, why? Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe he's doing a Yoda type thing. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That was my first assumption, that he was just Yoda-ing her. Like, it's just like, well,
Like
I only had
Empire
one master,
style.
I'm just gonna do it how he did it.
That's pretty good.
You know, but, like, instead, it's this, instead it's just like he's a fucking hermit because...
Well, he's just, like, rejected the Force.
Yeah, entirely. And,
crazy, but...
Yeah, he's got a little nuts with his green alien monster milk.
Green or is it blue? I forget. Anyway,
it's green. I think it's green.
Because he drinks blue milk in 4.
Yeah, no, this is green. I'm pretty sure this is green.
Of course it is.
By the way,
post 6 Luke.
Yes. By the way, anyone who hasn't yet, because I've noticed we had people popping in and out, please give us a follow. If you like what we're doing here, we do reviews like this, we do podcasts, and we are going to be doing gaming streams soon, we swear. This Friday, I'll be doing some Dragon Ball... No, not this Friday, because I have a date. This Saturday, I'll be doing some Dragon Ball Fighters.
Maybe I'll take over your Friday slot, since I'll be seeing the movie Thursday.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
That work. Oh, then maybe I should take over your Thursday slot. Duh.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
The normal plan is for you to play Fridays and then I play Thursdays.
Yes,
but I think for Star Wars we're gonna flip it around.
Yeah, we had a slot this week. So yeah, please give us a follow. It'd be much appreciated. It helps us get to that ever important affiliate mark.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, going forward though.
Yes, in the plot, where are we at?
So we're at Rey lands on Octo.
Yep.
And she lands on Octo, and
Luke's jaded.
Luke's all jaded, bitter old man, and he's like, I'm not going to train you, I'm not going to train anyone ever. The Jedi need to die.
Yeah.
You know, and then he's like, after she tries repeatedly, he's like, fine, I will give you a lesson. and he like he you know like he's like the Jedi at the height of their power allowed Darth Sidious to rise and the Empire to happen. And what do you know about the Force? It allows you to gives you superpowers and allows you to lift rocks and float.
Yep.
And it's just like everything you just said about that sentence is wrong. And I'm just like, I love you, jaded Mark Hamill.
Okay, so I know this is another like Disney Marvel line, but when he asks her to reach out and touch and feel the Force, and he just tickles her hand with a feather, it's like, oh, do you feel it? Oh, the Force is really strong with you.
That was genuinely that was almost kind of Yoda-ish though, so I was
Yeah.
I was kind of like that one felt less Disney-y to me.
Sure.
So I was a little more like I didn't like it didn't register in my mind as a Marvel joke, I guess. Is the best way I would put it. Is that's the best way I'm in my mind I would picture this. But yeah, so I don't. But I could. But yeah, I actually really like that. And then she actually.
It was funny.
She starts to actually commune with the Force, and he's like, she immediately goes to the darkness, and he's like, I've never seen that. No.
Didn't he see that once in Kylo Ren? He was like, I wasn't afraid then, I am now.
Yeah, like that. That was all. This stuff is really good, man.
Yep.
Like
that's all about her yearning for her parents.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
like all that stuff is just killer. Like it's all really interesting and engaging, and I was having a good time the entire time I was watching that portion.
Sure.
And then so at this point it cuts back to outer space, I believe, and Finn is trying to escape because he thinks this is a lost cause.
He also has that communicator for Rey. Doesn't want Rey to jump into this.
Right. And, he meets Rose, the worst character of the entire movie.
No, second worst.
Who would you have as worst?
Admiral Holdo.
She sucks too.
We'll get to her.
Okay, fine.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, but at least Admiral Holdo does something cool.
She didn't have to.
But okay, go on.
So my problems with Rose don't really come in until the end.
Till Casino Land.
No, Casino Land's still fine. But again, we'll get to that.
Okay.
I was not a fan of the casino scene at first, but watching it again, I was fine with it.
Okay.
So here we are introduced to Rose, where we find out she is the sister.
The sister of the girl who died on the bombing run.
While the one who ignited the bombs and destroyed the dreadnought.
Yeah.
So she was like, "Oh, Finn! Oh my God!" And
you're a hero of the resistance and whatnot.
And then found out he was running.
Yeah, it was just like tased his ass.
And just straight up tased him, which I thought was kind of funny.
Beautiful, right?
Which is a good way to get certain Star Wars fans mad at you immediately, is stopping the hero because of procedure or.
I mean that's how you hate fucking anyone who does anything in cool movies like this.
Right.
But yeah, no, I feel it.
So yeah, that happens. Sure. And then when do they start attacking? What happens after this scene, Bronson?
To my memory, they're trying to still harass Holdo for her plan. No. Yep. No, Kylo has his bombing run. Kylo has a bombing run and blows up Leia. Leia uses the Force to get back on the ship, which everyone complained about, and I'm just like...
I think that's so cool.
I'm like, it's fucking space wizards. Like,
yeah, that's what this is.
What the fuck are you complaining about?
Also, up to this point, we didn't get to see Leia do anything. Yeah. I think this is such a cool-ass thing that Leia do.
Yeah, like...
The real tragedy of this scene is that this is how Admiral Akbar dies.
Yeah, that's a real bummer. In fact, I actually have one of the things I commented about this movie is like, if you just had replaced Holdo with Akbar,
Man, wouldn't that have worked a lot better?
yeah, because it's in the character that you have had a long time attachment to in some way
Man,
or another.
had Leia given control of the ship to Admiral Akbar,
Yeah,
wouldn't that have been fine?
makes a lot more sense. But
And then we wouldn't have to make up this character.
this character whose whole purpose really is to die.
Again, it goes back to the intended message clashing with the resulting message of the movie regarding communication. Uh, but again, we'll get to that. We're not there yet. But I did read that like people were, especially the actor who did General Akbar, was just devastated by the way this happened, and like the writer like didn't realize the mistake he had made until he watched the movie back himself after it was finished,
Oh my
and
god.
he was like, "Fuck."
I almost want to cry when I hear that now.
Yeah,
Oh
like
my.
everyone hated it. Everyone disliked it. That's just how it
Oh,
went. That's how it went out.
that's heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking.
That's some sad shit.
Ugh. So anyway, Leia's Mary Poppins moment is still super cool. She used the Force to survive in space and pull herself back into what was left of the ship.
Yeah, no. I like people everywhere bitched about that scene and I'm like, what is to complain about here? This is a movie series with space wizards with laser swords.
Yep.
We're going to complain about someone using the magical space magic
Right.
to survive in a vacuum for maybe 15 seconds
Yeah.
and
No,
propel themselves to a ship when
it was Leia's cool moment. Ah, I mean,
yeah,
she has more cool moments, but like her Jedi or Force, not Jedi, but like her Force power
her using
moment
the
beyond
force
like,
beyond like, oh, I can feel shit.
yeah,
Like, yes, yeah,
had her do something.
it was very cool.
So that was
I'm
cool.
I'm very much in that camp. The people who complained about this for I've gotten so many arguments over this. I'm venting it here. The people who've talked about this shit need to shut the fuck
They're
up.
wrong. They're
They're
wrong.
wrong. Like, at minimum, the scene is okay.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like, really? This makes fucking any less sense than the dark space wizard shooting fucking lightning out of his hands? Really?
Yeah, I
Really?
don't know what specifically the complaint is, honestly,
I,
other
I,
than they call it the Mary Poppins thing, which
which
because it's a woman flying.
no one complained about it during Guardians of the Galaxy. That's all I'm saying.
I
Um,
remember that blah, 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 Last Jedi released after I am forgetting her name, Leia, the actress,
Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher. That movie released after she had died.
Yeah, real bummer. And they
Really was.
for this upcoming movie, they had to go in and CG her for the and use already made shots they'd taken for this.
To do whatever they do at the end of this. But I remember watching that scene in theaters. I'm like, that's a hell of a way to get her out of the movie. Holy shit! And then she
Uh,
wakes up. It's like, what? What?
well, you didn't kill Princess Leia. Good job.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Oh Lord.
But also Admiral Akbar died. So
Yeah, that's not okay.
no, it was not okay. It was not
No,
ceremonious. It was not. Which again, that happens in war. That's how you can kind of write it off. But
yeah, but it's like for that character, I feel like he deserved a little better. But still, I get it. I
yeah.
understand. I just don't like it.
It wasn't the writer because the writer's Rian Johnson, but it was someone else who was like integral to what happened in that movie. Like looked at it and was like, ah, shit.
Too
So
late now, fucker.
yeah. So okay, so Leia's in like a coma thing.
Hmm.
Uh, and so Vice Admiral Holdo
Yes.
is put in charge.
And then Finn was demoted after the bombing run.
Poe was
Poe, yeah.
because he got those killed. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I like how Holdo instantly gives him shit. It's like, wait, Captain, wasn't it? Wasn't her last
Yeah, yeah,
order
yeah,
to demote
right.
you?
So like
Uh,
immediately like treats him like crap, and then like he because with Leia, if you were on this ship, you saw Leia and Poe talking about what was going on. They were communicating, which again makes the whole beginning of Last Jedi not make any sense.
hmm.
Uh, but they were communicating. That was kind of what they did. That's what the heroes did in previous Star Wars movies. So then, yeah, Vice Admiral Holdo comes on, and Poe's like, "All right, so what's the plan?" And she's like, "I'm not telling you any plans. Just follow your orders."
Just shut up and listen.
Well, she doesn't. She doesn't. She just says like orders. Like, what's the plan? I'm not telling you the plan. Like, we don't get to know the plan. Just know the immediate step for you specifically next. Uh,
Which, to be fair, from what I've heard from all my friends in the military, they're like, yeah, that's it's not too far off.
it's not too far off, but that doesn't make it good.
No, I know. I'm just saying, if we're
Just gonna say right now, we want to get into a larger conversation, but
like, if you want,
larger uninformed conversation.
yeah, well, I mean, we can be stupid all we want.
I mean, yeah, no, that's what we're on the internet for, right?
Yeah,
Um,
that's why people
so
watch.
yeah. Uh,
Anyway,
so yeah, and so Poe is not happy.
mm.
Guess what? He wants to actually do something.
So he taught, and Finn convinces Rose that what they need to do. And
They're all talking together. Yeah, they formulate a plan,
yeah,
and then they contact what's her name?
they contact fuck.
Naz?
Naz Kanata is the last name.
Maz.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
They contact her, and she's like, "You need to find the Master Codebreaker on this planet." And Rose and Finn go,
Yep.
and then Poe stays to kind of watch that situation. And it cuts back to the Jedi Island.
So okay, so just to recap that bit, so they're going to get the code breaker because they need to they needed to get into the ship to
to
what was
to
it?
it was to blow something. It was to blow something up to cause the ship to fall apart.
Yeah, so that they could get out of there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was the whole idea. So they had to go to this planet to find this master code breaker to execute on this secret plan.
Right. Which
Uh,
you know,
yeah.
varying levels of success with that.
Sure.
Um,
But yeah, I'll
but
vent later.
so yeah, so we go
I'm
back.
putting it off. So yeah,
We go back to Jedi World.
yes, I love Jedi World.
I genuinely do love Jedi World in this fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
Jedi World is great because they're both stubborn, so he is committed to being like, I'm not fucking training you, versus where she is committed to being like, no, you're training me.
Yep.
You're training me now, motherfucker. And he's like, nope, not doing it. And he goes to live his life and eat and go fish and drink green milk. And she's like, I'm just going to sit here with your wizard laser sword
Yeah.
and do my thing.
Well, so we got to the part where they did like that first lesson, right?
Yeah, we did that already.
And so yeah, so all right, so this is after that whole thing. And it's like, all right, then I'm not doing this.
Yeah, so she just starts practicing with the laser sword on the rock and nearly kills one of the indigenous people there.
That was
Yeah.
That'll happen when you're just playing around with a lightsaber.
Maybe I shouldn't just mess around with this giant deadly weapon that even touching it kills you.
I mean, if no one's going to train you, then I guess you gotta do it yourself, right?
Yeah, true enough.
And then then it goes bad because we're not trained.
Yeah, no.
So
Um, so yeah, and then she communicates with Kylo for the first time.
Hang on a second. We have a comment here.
Oh, we do. Okay.
Yes. Fishing is peak chill in movies and video games. Correct.
Thank you, Nicole.
We didn't get to see the full fishing
We
sequence.
just got to see him stab one,
Yeah.
which his way of fishing is savage, but I kind of like it.
It's crazy. I love it. I
Like,
just wish. I want to know how he did. Did he just haul the pole up and then catch it?
because at first because like I would normally assume, okay, he's just fishing with the Force, but like
Right.
he can't do that. So I'm just like, oh, I mean, he is just super athletic at this point. So I mean, it makes sense. I mean, when all you do is live on this island,
Right.
like all you do is eat and wait to
He
die.
had to learn to survive in that area, and so he was just. And he was probably like freshly off the force, so he was still pretty good. And then, even
Yeah.
as he aged and got unattuned with the force, he still had that skill kind of down.
Yeah, so once again, it's all you got to do is when all you're doing is trying to survive and waiting to die.
And I guess you figure that out. Pole vaulting, fishing is my favorite new Olympic sport.
Is that a thing? Is that a real thing?
No, it is not a real thing. It should be though.
I was about to say.
We're gonna let 50 salmon loose in this river. You have to get from one section to the other with your one harpoon pole, and you have to stab a fish every time.
I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go.
Someone will get really good at it.
I mean, someone's good at fucking curling, so. Um,
Javelin fishing. That's what it's called.
javelin fishing. Okay.
Yep, I like it. Summer games are next year.
Get on it, Olympics.
So, okay, so what happens here?
So.
Did we cover the link between Ray?
I was just about to get on that. So
Okay.
those two have a link. She has a conversation where she's just like, "You're a fucking monster." Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And he's just like, "I like you. Do you like me?" No.
I
Okay.
am a monster.
Yeah. No. God damn it, Kylo Ren. Oh God. Hold on. I'm gonna double check to see if if that's the right scene. So. Okay, so they get deported, or they leave off. Oh, nope, sorry. Sorry, the audio from it picked up.
Oh no.
So you're getting like 3 seconds of Last Jedi audio. But yeah, so she does her training thing on her own.
Yep.
And with Luke, and then Kylo is back on base. And then Casino Planet happens. Casino Planet happens.
Yes.
Fuck, this is boring.
But again, just like episode 2, it's covering an important thing.
It's
boring.
I don't think it is. I really think that you could lop this out of the movie and you would find another way to get a code breaker and be A-okay.
It's talking about the people who take advantage, the people who play that middle ground, and how they talk about, because a lot of movies are talking about the light side and the dark side of the Force and how that's beyond Jedi. That's just existence, and this is exploring that middle ground, and especially the middle ground that also works to the detriment of the light, but sells to both sides and just lives the high life at the expense of other people, and
right, but
why it's important to fight for
right, but then like later in the movie it contradicts this by being like, hey, look who sells to both,
Well, right.
I'm just like,
I think yeah.
So
I think I'm hoping anyway. I hope that character comes back in this next movie.
he might. I mean, he has to, right? You would think.
He's such a good character.
Yeah,
I liked him.
He was one of the better characters for sure. But
Yeah.
I really fucking did not. I found it boring. I felt it was heavy-handed as hell, especially with the kids. The
Yeah.
fucking child actors, like I thought it was super heavy-handed.
Oh man, let me tell you, I
What?
have a bad feeling about Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, great. Super looking for that. We got a comment. Director Smiley dropping in to say what's up. What is up?
What's up?
I believe that is a Mr. Charlie. How you doing today, bud? You should give us a follow, please. We are getting ever closer to that 50 mark. Please.
We'll watch more movies that we don't want to watch.
We'll watch more movies for you. Is that what you want?
So
That's right.
I don't know. It was
Yeah,
it was
there it
fine.
is.
I didn't like. Oh my God, look at that. Ah, that was a good choice,
Uh,
Bronson.
yeah, thank you. Doing swell. We're doing good. We are on our 8th movie. This is our first live one of these. We're kind of dissecting the Last Jedi at this point, but
Been
like
enjoying these movies up to this point.
I didn't enjoy episode 2.
Okay, I did, but
Yeah, but you know. Anyway, so we get the first taste of Casino World, and it's heavy-handed bullshit.
I didn't like that they're like trying to find red plume whatever, and they just kept repeating it over and over again. It's like, okay, just get to the next part, get to the next part.
Yeah.
But I was fine with it.
Yeah,
And Rose is the person who's is like the character that's supposed to represent that aspect of the struggle.
And man, okay, so that's why she sucks. Got it.
We're
God.
going through it, Charlie. This is a multifaceted
This
issue.
I am up and down on the film.
We're gonna rate it at the end here.
Yeah,
with the other films.
Yeah, we're ranking each of the films individually.
Yeah.
One by one. We have a bunch of other episodes posted on our YouTube at Super Gamecraft. Yeah. So anyway, we're so we're at the part where the casino happens, first casino bit, and it cuts to what's going on there, and then it goes back to Rey training on her own.
Yep.
At first she's in the stick, then she's in the light sword, and then Luke does the second lesson. And he talks about how the Jedi are romanticized, and it's just like, but if you strip away them and look at their deeds, the legacy of the Jedi is failure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's just like, at the height of their power, they allowed Darth Sidious to create the Empire and wipe them out. And it was a Jedi Master who was responsible for the training and creation of Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And then she argues a Jedi who saved him, the most hated man in the galaxy, because you saw the conflict inside him. You know, she goes through all that jazz with him. So yeah. And
That's
then,
good.
Yeah, and then it cuts back to Holdo and the other
And Poe and
all them. And the first ship goes bye-bye because it ran out of fuel.
right, they're being caught up. They're yeah.
Well, yeah,
So.
the first ship runs out of fuel, so it's like...
I see what's going on. Yes, right.
Okay, so we got a comment about the casino scene. So I'll say this about the casino scene. Missed opportunity to invoke a gambling scene involving high stakes for Finn and Rose to obtain the codebreaker. They should have implemented a Casino Royale type card game to get a chance to know DJ and the other codebreaker.
That's an interesting thought.
Yeah, that's a fucking great idea.
I think given what Rose is supposed to represent, like, I think they would have like wholly rejected the idea of participating in anything going on here.
Which goes to my point of, man, you want to know what makes this movie way better? If you just take Rose out of it.
No, the whole point is you're not supposed to take part in this shady ass bullshit.
Sometimes you need to do shady ass bullshit for the greater good.
Remember when we talked about which one of us was more likely to go Sith?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I just thought I'd reference that. Anyway.
Look, man, the Grey Jedi is the best Jedi.
There's only one good Grey Jedi, and he's not even a Grey Jedi, and that was Mace Windu.
Okay.
The one Jedi who's a really great Jedi who was referenced as a Grey Jedi is Qui-Gon Jinn. And that's because he was a great Jedi who just like wouldn't listen to the council.
Yeah, but also, like, Qui-Gon's just like, you will take Imperial credits. You know,
Yep.
you just like, Yeah, Qui-Gon didn't give a fuck, dude. He was very much willing to.
He rigged like the die rolling.
Oh yeah.
See, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there you go. So I think
Look,
this.
man, he is the Captain Picard of this whole thing.
I think that. Yeah, I think that if you take Poe and put him and Finn on that planet, that becomes a far more interesting ride.
Sure.
Rose was a killjoy, cute actress, but you'd think the dire and desperate circumstances would have had led her to do anything to save her friends.
Well, later on, that becomes sadly the case. But like, yeah, I will say things about like what she's supposed to represent. But Rose was a killjoy. There's no arguing with that.
God damn it, she sucks.
Yeah,
she sucks. I'm gonna say this: she sucks worse than Jar Jar.
No,
I would rather if you would have told me, would you have rather had Jar Jar help Finn? Yeah.
I dislike all involvement of guns in those prequels.
Yeah, me too.
I can't. Can't.
Yeah, I agree with you. But man, like because the fact that Jar Jar hijinks Rose preaching over Rose preaching, the audience speaks. Like I would rather have Jar Jar tripping his way through that fucking casino being an idiot than to deal with oh, look at the animal abuse and look at the children
and the child abuse.
Yeah.
Or money.
You know,
like, it was all about teaching Finn like these values that he wasn't exposed to as much because he's been a stormtrooper for so long.
But like, if anyone knows the horror of the fucking First Order, it is probably Finn.
I mean, yeah, and that's what shook him, but like he wasn't exposed to all that, and you see when he enters into the casino scene, he's like, I don't see why this is a problem. And then Rose lays it out and like has him look at the screen. What? I mean, what are you gonna do? Have the kids run out onto the track? What are they? They're two people. There's nothing they could do. They gave him the rebel ring.
Highlight comment of the night so far. They free the animals but leave the slave children behind.
The animals can run. The children can run too. They're just not going to be very fast.
So you can just put the kids on the fucking lion, horse, beast with them.
I don't know. This is like they thought of this in like 5 seconds, didn't they?
Those kids are going to get beaten for the animals being stolen.
And they'll be more motivated to become Jedi later. I'm telling you.
I'm just picturing that fucking dude who was whipping the horse earlier being like, what the fuck happened?
Look, you see at the end of the movie, they're fine.
Yeah, you fucking look at their back. It looks like they've just been beaten all night.
Look, man, they're going to be savage Jedi. I'm telling you.
That's how you get turned into Sith.
I mean, if they're treated wrong, if they're trained wrong, sure.
I mean, they're gonna have like what? They have 5. What is it? 5 or 6 Knights of Ren. Those had to come from somewhere.
No, that was part of
Skywalker's crew.
That was part of Skywalker's crew.
Yeah. Yeah. So they. So
that whole scene happens.
And then more Holdo in space, and they're wondering what the hell's going on.
I just want to say there was a real good line where they run into the guy's name is DJ, the other code breaker. Even have action figures better off than most slaves. Anakin didn't have an action figure. What? He didn't have an action figure. What are you talking about? Didn't he have an action figure?
I mean, he had a pod. Anakin had a pod to race.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something. Lord.
Oh, they're talking. Okay.
Yeah.
So there was a good line with DJ where DJ comes to save them in the ship, and
that's a little later.
We're not there yet.
No, Poe's back on the ship. They're like, "Where the hell are you?" And then they're in jail because of double parking their ship.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Yeah, I jumped
at the end, Slave Kid had a Luke action figure. Anakin had to build his shit.
I totally missed the Luke action figure.
He built it. He built a Luke action figure.
Damn.
So anyway, going forward. Jesus H. Christ.
All right.
Going forward, so the Codebreaker thing happens. They meet him in jail, and he breaks them all out of jail.
But not the code breaker, a code breaker.
A Codebreaker, yes. He breaks them out. He acts all weird.
He acts weird and great.
Yeah. And then they all escape through different means. Finn and Rose go through the sewer to where the horse, beast, animals are. Did you like Benicio del Toro's lisp and stutters? I mean, it was
Absolutely.
fine. I thought it didn't bother me. I was like, oh, okay, add some. I guess you wanted to add something to this character.
Exactly. I liked it. I really did. I liked everything about his character.
So they show the animals and fucking Rose lets them all out. Tramples the soldiers. The kids are yelling, "Go, go, go!"
And then the horses trample the whole casino.
Yep. Whatever the fuck these things are.
They're weird.
You know what?
Things.
The first time I watched this, I was so disappointed because the first time they show the track with the animals on it, I'm like, are they about to bring back fucking pod racing? I was about to be so fucking happy, and
that'd have been so good.
And then this shit.
No, this isn't lawless like Tatooine. We are civilized here on this casino planet.
Yeah, instead of racing machines, we beat and fuck up animals in this civilized casino planet.
That's right, Captain. It's just like whipping this animal, and it's like crying out in pain, and the rider's like, "It's working! It's working!"
Versus, Tatooine, the lawless desert planet. Yeah, we race machines. These cars we build, they kind of explode sometimes, but
Yeah, the Tusken Raiders just shoot at you. That's kind of fun.
It's a fun little part of the game.
Anyway, let the 10-year-old race.
Yeah. Star Wars is fucked up the more you think about it.
No, it's totally fucked up. It's fucked up from the start. You go into Mos Eisley?
Yeah, no. But like, man, when you really dissect that's what I'm not realizing. The more we do this show, the more you dissect Star Wars, the more fucked it is.
You want to buy some death sticks? You don't want to sell me death sticks. I don't want to sell you death sticks.
So
you want to go home and rethink your life. Anyway,
their ship gets blown up as they're running away on the fucking animals, and then they run up a cliff, and the casino security guards are all after them. They're running through the brush, and then Mr. It cuts or Del Toro rescues them. Yeah, DJ. Sorry. Ends up rescuing them with BB-8 filled with money.
Yeah, right. That was God. That guy a lot of. Like, you think, like, there's that whole scene, like, he's drunk and he's trying to put, like, coins into this BB-8 and, like, nothing's happening. And he recognizes this, but he just keeps doing it. And then it cuts to that scene where he just starts shooting coins. There's, like, 40 coins coming out. Was BB-8 just sitting there the whole time doing that?
Baby's like, I'm getting rich.
Yes, give me ammunition. Thank you, sir.
Give me these coin bullets. Which, I mean, if you could fire a silver dollar out of a spring-loaded machine, that shit probably would hurt a lot. Yeah. You've played quarters. Everyone has. I
played quarters once, and I was like, why would anyone do this?
I played quarters a pretty good amount, and I've also been, especially, I played quarters enough to know a coin this big fucking hurts.
Yep.
So a coin this big that's significantly heavier probably hurts a lot fucking more, especially when it's out of a spring-loaded robot. I'm just saying.
There was a really good line when they pulled up that I really liked was BB-8 beeps and boops, and then DJ looks back. He says I stole it, and he looks back over him. We stole it because BB-8's a fucking he is the mischievousness of R2, but like double. So
I hate how R2's barely in this movie, but that's
I know, but we've moved on, unfortunately.
So Luke is going back and getting in tune with the Force at the top of of Octo, and he feels the stuff from the Jedi Temple or the Jedi signal at the middle of it, and he feels out and whatnot.
R2 is still alive.
R2 is still alive. They see R2 on the ship. No, R2 is
Yep.
alive.
He's just
Yeah,
not doing much.
he's just chilling on the Millennium Falcon.
Yep.
And then you have the Kylo vision. That's like, why did you kill your father? And then he's all shirtless and he's all shirtless. And one thing I like is they kept the continuity of the last movie. Not only does he have the scar on his face, he has the one on his shoulder as well.
Yes.
So they did keep the injury continuity.
Yeah.
Let's see. Side question: stuck on an island, do you eat pork meat or Ewok meat?
Assuming they are both plentiful on the island, I assume they're alive.
I would eat pork meat. It's probably closer to chicken or duck, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because fucking Ewok,
It's like a bird thing.
Yeah, Ewok, you're eating monkey.
You got monkey out of Ewok?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, like monkey teddy bear. Yeah, like that's
yeah, like that was teddy bear,
monkey
like sort of like a bear.
meat. Yeah, like that's an excellent question.
I mean, Ewok, you can't give me those Bambi eyes. You're always just gonna have those dead teddy bears eyes staring at me.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
I feel Ewoks are a lot more civilized though. Like you're eating like a like a species that like can craft and
Oh, that's fair.
yeah, versus like Porg's a fucking bird.
I hate Ewoks, but
Yeah, you may hate Ewoks, but like
they have a civilization, whereas Porgs are literally just animals with big eyes.
yeah, they're cute. I think Porgs
I mean, I am gonna have to hide somewhere to eat it.
yeah, like I'm gonna have to I'm the first thing I'm gonna have to do is like chop off that thing's head.
Apparently, as a survival tactic, like I guess they'll just crowd around a dead Porg and like just frown at you. Like, fuck off! I'm trying to eat. Please, God.
That's fucking hilarious. Oh Lord, that's using your cuteness as a survival tactic. Who would have thought?
Why else are dogs here?
So they show the Kylo scene.
We decided Porg.
I'm sorry.
We decided Porg. I just wanted to clear that
Porg.
up.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Porg.
Yeah. I hate Ewoks, but yeah.
I will post that on the Super Gamecraft Twitter and my personal Twitter. We officially endorse eating Porg over Ewok. Yep. That'll be. So
Super Gamecraft endorsement.
Yep. You have Luke gets in tune with the Force.
Yep.
Leia feels Luke get in tune with the Force, so she wakes up,
Mm-hmm.
Or starting to wake up, and then you have Kylo and Rey talking to each other, and Rey's like, "Why'd you kill your father? Why are you shirtless? Why are you so jacked?"
Why do you wear waist high pants?
Why do you wear almost nipple high pants?
Yeah.
Like lots of questions there.
That was honestly my biggest question.
So Nicole has a very good question that this links to another show I'm on. It's through a Twitch called Two Roomie Stream. I do it with my roommate Stephanie, and we've had discussions on eating a Sylveon. Would you eat a Sylveon?
As opposed to what?
Just in general, if presented with Sylveon, would you eat a Sylveon?
Is it alive? Do I have to kill it?
No, it's a cooked Sylveon. Yeah.
I mean, if it was killed humanely.
Okay.
Not even then, there's context.
So let's say someone murdered the Sylveon for you, cooked it, and like, here, try a piece of Sylveon.
I'd be like, you monster.
You monster.
You asshole.
This is delicious.
This actually isn't too bad.
Tastes kind of like steak. As for my stance on it, absolutely yes.
I'll get this out of the way. If it's done right, I would try. Oh God, what's this?
Let's see. Are you going for the blue milk or the green milk? We don't know where the blue milk comes from. We know what the green milk comes from.
That's true. Um, I don't know. I would go blue milk because blue milk, like they're taking that into their home. They're like, oh yeah, normal, whatever.
Yeah.
Green milk comes in when Luke's in survival mode. It's like I'm making milk out of whatever I need. Uh,
Just
and
milk this
he like
creature and you
drinks it. And he's
enjoy
just
it.
got that. Like, that doesn't seem like a pleasant. I don't know. That seems easy. I think blue milk.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, Lord. Uh,
These are good questions.
they are good questions. Thank you, chat.
Hmm.
All right, so
The important questions to ask about Last Jedi.
the important questions, not the philosophy of it, not the like all the stuff how it pertains to Star Wars as a franchise,
No,
but
the stuff we actually talk about on the internet.
would you eat a porg, and what kind of alien milk are you drinking?
All of
So
it.
we got Boxy Boy Kylo Ren talking to Rey about the dark side and
Hmm.
his being a fuck boy, being like your parents threw you away like garbage.
So,
Like
did
this is
Luke?
the scene where I'm just like, oh, he's just a fuck boy. That's what Kylo Ren is. Got it.
Did we hear the? Yes, he did look fabulous.
He, he
There were
did
some
look
choices
great.
made. That's all.
Like, just he's a fuck boy with very warped fashion sense. He even tells you about his tragic backstory, like any fuck boy would. Like just every part of this. Like I'm
Man,
just like Kylo Ren, fuck boy.
like I did. Luke tell the first version of the story before this?
Yeah, he did. He's like I fucking sense great darkness in him, and or no, they tell three versions.
They do.
Yeah,
So did they tell the first one? 'Cause
yeah, they
this is
did.
the scene where he tells the second one.
Yeah, I fucked up. Just like I saw great darkness in him, and then he yells, "Bed, no!" And then Kylo tells his version of the story where it's just like I saw my master trying to slay me,
Hmm.
and then it goes around to later on in the film Luke being like I saw fucking all that was there was I was felt with guilt and a scared scared young boy.
Yep.
um
So he was going to stop.
yeah, he was in mid stopping, and then
Yeah.
just like Ben saw the light saber standing over him, and he was like, oh fuck. Yeah,
What did you think of them like showing that scene 3 times?
I thought it was cool. I actually really
Really?
like. I thought that was a really cool perspective thing of like, if anything, this is how this is how people tell stories in real life almost.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Because like at first Skywalker's really closed off and he just wants to give you the essentials. Then Kylo gives you his warped side of it, and then Skywalker's like, no, this is what fucking actually happened.
I like telling that. I was just thinking like visually watching it happen 3 times.
Yeah, yeah. Once again, I really liked it. I
Okay.
dug it, and like by the time I woke up, he fucking just. By the time I woke up, he destroyed the temple and took several of my students and killed the rest.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember many flashback sequences in prior Star Wars movies.
No, I think this is the only one.
Yeah, which to me made it weird.
That's weird, but I this is actually one of the change. This movie has a lot of changes for the franchise.
Yeah.
As a whole, and some of these, like we've said, have been better or worse. Which is actually one of my things I'm actually really afraid of with Rise of Skywalker is like, please double down on these changes.
Oh.
Like I want you to double down even harder because I want to see how weird Star Wars can get.
No, I don't want to.
Especially because this is gonna be the last movie for a while.
Like mainline.
Yeah, like you've already committed down this path. Like we might as well see where it goes.
I mean, yeah, we're here. That's what makes this so interesting is seeing Force Awakens and this. Like, how are they gonna tie this all together?
Exactly. So yeah. Also, we have quite a few people in the chat and in the viewing tonight. Please,
Hey.
if you guys like what's going on, please give us a follow. We're this close to affiliate. We're 10 away. Please help us out. Every single follow helps.
We're trying to do fun stuff like this.
Yes.
Talk about Star Wars and which creature we eat.
Question of the day.
Yep.
I'll think of a Star Wars question from when I stream Battlefront. Question of the day:
Oh,
What
man.
would you rather eat?
Ugh.
So, excuse me.
You're excused.
So after Kylo tells her version of her vision, she goes and goes to the dark part of the island and does her dark side thing, and sees her reflection and her past and all this other shit. And then she touches the mirror and she just sees herself. So like, is she the darkness?
And then she felt empty. There were like no answers or something like that,
Right, and then goes back to having a vision with Kylo, who now
Mm-hmm.
finally, thank God, put on a shirt. And
Thank
they're
God.
about to touch hands through the Force and the connection, and they do somehow.
Yep.
And then
Luke's not happy.
Luke is like, no. And then he's like, leave this island now, and she goes after him with her bow staff. And
That's right.
one thing I like is it shows how Luke is a Jedi master, because he is literally fending her off with one hand. Like, he summons the rod to him,
Yep.
and he dodges, ducks, dodges. Like, he literally is beating her with one hand.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
Wow.
like, if you go back and watch the scene, he is literally defending with one hand the entire time, grabs her bow staff, and the only reason that she wins or throws him off guard is she force pulls the lightsaber,
Yep.
and it throws him back, and then he holds himself up with the Force.
Yep.
But yeah, so one thing I really liked is that exact thing. Like, it really shows off his ability with the Force, his power with the Force, how the fact that he is the Jedi Master. Then we get the third retelling. He's like, I sensed the darkness in him. I'd seen it moments during his training, but then I looked inside, and it was beyond what I ever imagined.
Mm-hmm.
This is the exact quote. I pulled it up. And then his Snoke had already turned his heart, and he would bring destruction and pain and death and the end of everything I love because of what he will become. And for the briefest moment of pure instinct, I thought I could stop it. And it passed like a fleeting shadow, and I was left with shame and with consequence.
Okay.
Which, great line reading by Mark Hamill. This entire scene by Mark Hamill.
Mm-hmm.
And what I saw were the eyes of a frightened boy whose master had failed him. And then he yells, Ben, no, and it collapses, and what we know for the rest of the story.
Yep. Which, yeah. All right.
So yeah.
So this basically says Kylo Ren became Kylo Ren because he thought like Luke just was afraid of his power,
right, and then
which he was, and then
right
backed off, but it was too late.
But yeah, too much dark side. But like he stopped, and then
Yep.
Rey's like, there's still conflict in him. If he turned from the dark side, then he could discern this is how we could win. So Rey is basically being Luke, but 30 years ago.
Right.
Like that's what's happening here is Rey is being Luke from 30 years ago, and if I go to him, Ben Solo will turn, and Skywalker's like, dude, don't do this, do not.
But
And she tries to hand him the lightsaber,
right.
and he just no, and she's like, all right, well, I'm fucking off.
He's our last hope.
Yep. So, yep, and then he bounces out, and then one of my favorite surprises of the whole movie, Luke goes to burn down the fucking tree and the books.
Yes.
And not only did we get Yoda, we got Puppet Yoda.
Yep.
And not only did we get Puppet Yoda, we got fucking weird, crazy Puppet Yoda.
Yeah. You like that moment where you see the Jedi Temple going up and he's just like laughing.
Yeah. like I love him so much.
He's still that Yoda.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's like, Skywalker, missed you, have I? And he goes in, he tries to get the
Yeah.
books, blows back. Like, just. Oh,
It's a
God.
sacred text.
It's just.
Read them, have you? Page turners they were not.
Time it is.
It was good. Yeah.
Like, just that entire Yoda scene was fantastic.
Oh, that last Yoda line. Do you have it?
Oh, is it the I don't have the last Yoda line, but I was just like, I like how they call back to the thing where he's just like, always looking to the horizon you are.
Yes, yes.
And I'm just
That's a
like,
good line.
oh, the callback.
Yep.
Director Smiley with the burn it all down. That's
The
like,
line, I'm going to paraphrase it. It was the greatest burden of teachers is that like students must surpass them,
yeah, what
must
we
go beyond them. It said it a lot better in
yeah,
the movie, but
what we grow
it's a
beyond.
really, really good line.
Yeah,
I'm like, fuck these books, let them figure it out.
watching this right after let's see, something also about learning to fail. Failure is the best teacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um.
And that was something for Luke specifically that he needed to.
Yeah. About, hey Luke, how did you learn best, buddy?
Yep. Yep.
So yeah. Anyway. So. Continuing on.
Next scene.
So they're in they cut back to Rose and the boring part of the movie.
Uh huh.
And they're having a conversation with the Master Code Breaker about, like, hey man, I need a pre-do it price. And Rose is 100% committed, so she just gives up her most valuable possession.
Yep.
And I like how they're like, why are you raiding your own ship? This isn't your ship. Yeah.
Oh yes, yes. That's a very good. Yep.
Why are you ransacking your own bullshit?
Oh, maybe that was the
Yeah.
we stole it line.
He says I stole it. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah,
we stole it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Team
I think
effort.
that's great. Ah, so good.
Good guys, bad guys. Made up words. Let's see who formerly owned this hunk of junk. And then they show about, oh, hey, for the First Order. Oh, but hey, did we make the X-Wings for the other guys, too?
Yep.
Which, I mean, yeah.
It's addressing, a side, an issue that was not really addressed too much in the other movies, is that middle ground where people try to operate outside of it, but inadvertently help the dark side of the Force.
One thing I really liked about this movie, and I know we're going to get to it in a week, but Rogue One is that showed, the rebels can be pieces of shit too sometimes.
Absolutely.
It's not exclusive to the fascist fucking, space Nazis.
No.
Sometimes your heroes will disappoint you.
Yep.
So.
The point is not to. Yeah. Anyway.
So
we'll
then
get to
that. So yeah, and then Poe goes up to Holdo and demands a plan. And then she gives him a lecture about hope and what Leia said about hope, which made me want to punch her in the jaw.
Man, if you could just communicate with the people on your ship,
maybe they wouldn't want them all to mutiny.
Maybe
you should tell them why you're filling up the transports.
Yes, okay, if you want to fill up the transports, fine, but why? What is the plan here? Because when you just give me that little bit of information, that seems like we're going to get picked off as soon as that bigger ship goes. So let's talk more. Let's figure this out.
Not only that, but Poe was fairly high up the command chain.
Already, and then combine that with just his relationship with Leia, the way they were talking with each other.
You think that he could have she has pulled him aside look, the only one they can track is this one. So we're gonna put us all in these little lifeboats and chill at this base on this unmarked planet while they chase this thing into the middle of nowhere.
But why keep it a secret?
Okay, so the reason why I can think of is you don't know who on that ship is
That's the only thing
on the
I
up
can
and
think
up. Like
of.
that's the only thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. All I can think of as well.
But like they were talking openly about their plans on that ship before.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, like I
It
don't.
was just Admiral Holdo doing this.
Yeah, I don't. I don't understand it.
They may
And
write that into it, in this following movie here, but
yeah,
right now it looks ridiculous.
yeah, and then you have the. And then you have then they finally discover the plan. Haldo discovers the plan of Finn. It's just like, you bet the survival of the Resistance on a slim plan, etc., etc. And the code breaker breaks them in and whatnot. But they make sure to carefully show that on the screen too, like
Yep.
the shield flickering on and off.
Yep, that was good.
To maybe let you know he's going to turn him in, or maybe the Empire knows. Or sorry, I keep want to say Empire, First Order. First Order knows. No, this is definitely not the Empire. The Empire was competent.
They had some more intimidating people
Yeah.
as leaders, but
So fucking Grand Moff Tarkin would use Hux to clean his boots.
which again, I feel like there's a purpose to that in this specific trilogy. But
everyone is like, I mean, like, I feel like power scaling in the Star Wars movies has gone the opposite way, with like in time. So like, starting at the Republic, it just gets progressively weaker until like this movie is like, we're all fighting with scraps in the middle of nowhere for nothing.
I mean, as long as we keep killing each other, blowing shit up at the end of the movie.
So
all right. So where are we at?
So they go and they're breaking in, and they use the Haitian smelt to break in, and then Holdo and their crew take over back the ship.
Poe.
Take the ship back. Oh, well, Poe takes the ship and everything, and then Holdo goes and starts to take the ship back.
I just want to point out that like Poe took it over, and then like there was already a part of the crew that was like totally on board and actively helping, and then the rest of the ship was just operating as normal while this whole mutiny happened, and everyone's like, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
fine. We were told of the original plan, so whatever this new plan is, sure.
why not?
We are being left completely out of the loop, so let's just whatever.
Do what the boss says.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, to be fair, I have worked enough jobs to know that would be a lot of people.
I mean, sure, but when it's like your survival,
Yeah.
On this drifting ship, this could be your last 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Well, Finn, Codebreaker, and Rose all get caught.
Yep.
And then Phasma comes up.
Yep.
FN 2187.
Mm-hmm.
So good to have you back, she says. Which, all right, fine. And
Phasma's a cool character for that, Boba Fett-esque character development she is.
Door broken open on Finn's ship. Leia's back up.
Yep.
She stun guns him.
Yep. This whole thing.
Yep.
This scene is what.
The transports all going, and then Holdo's like, I like him, and Leia's
No, you don't. You were an ass to him, and that really pissed him off.
Yeah.
And you caused these other people to go off to do their own mission because at least that was a plan that they knew about. And they just, in this other thing, got caught and then accidentally let them know about your plan. You're like, I like him. What a terrible character.
Yep. She sucks.
terrible.
She is.
I love Laura Dern. I think that was Laura Dern that
Yeah,
played.
no.
Laura Dern's fantastic.
Nothing against the actress.
Same with Rose.
Yeah,
But
yeah, absolutely. Do not go harass Rose on the fucking internet, you jackholes.
worst character in the Star Wars universe is the Star Wars fan base, turns out.
As we
Goddamn
learned
us.
every episode. So,
So,
traveling down this road, she stays on the ship to pilot it.
yep.
All this, ships are going bye-bye.
Poe should have gotten the firing squad for his treason. I mean, the way she was being a super hard ass about it, like, I wouldn't have been surprised if she had done that. Like, what a terrible.
That would have
terrible
subverted
character.
expectations.
Poe's dead.
Poe's
Also,
dead.
Holdo's good. Sorry.
Yep. Holdo's the good guy.
That was the thing. It was like Leia and Holdo are talking about it, and like then the the plan slowly reveals itself to the audience as well as the main characters, and it's like, man, you just had the audience sit through like an hour and a half of being frustrated at you, and like what your plan was actually a decent plan. Maybe
You just
could have told someone.
told
Maybe you could have
us.
told a few people.
But then also you have the on the ship that you find out the code breaker sold them out.
Yep.
While that's going on, Rey struggles to fight against Snoke, failing miserably.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
But then Kylo helps murder him.
That was pretty good.
That was a good moment, but I have one. I have a couple of questions.
I have one. Yeah, let's see
Okay.
if it's... Yeah, what's yours?
First, they never explained Snoke's background at all.
Who the fuck is Snoke?
And two, which, okay, fine. You can just say no one explained the Emperor's background either. So, okay, fine.
Snoke died so Palpatine can live.
Maybe
Palpatine stole his life force as he died, and that's how he revived.
just dark side user, whatever, fine.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, fine. Snoke dies so Palpatine can live.
Yeah.
So okay, fine. But whatever, space wizard bullshit, dark side user. But the other question I have is, why do all the guards go to fight them once Snoke is dead? They don't got a boss no more. They don't got to worry about shit. They're like, oh.
True. Like, what... Do you think they were also, like, confused as to whether it was him or Hux? And why do they fight that? Because they're guards.
Because they're Star Wars guards.
Like, they're red, so they might be able to fight a little better, but come on. So, also, they're fighting against two Force-using, lightsaber-wielding, one Jedi, one Sith. That's intimidating to start.
Well, I'm going to say one semi-Jedi, one semi-Sith.
They don't know that.
They clearly don't know the choreography was bad.
I don't necessarily agree with that. It wasn't the best.
No, it definitely wasn't no Duel of the Fates or...
Nothing's going to hold up to the prequels because they're trying to mimic the more emotion-based, like, just hack-slash of the original trilogy, but just more intense.
Yeah.
That's what I think. And I'm not a big fan of it, but I didn't think it was bad.
Yeah, I like, if you really look at it, there are a couple of ones that really hold out in my mind as being shit. Like, the one where, like, she drops her lightsaber...
That's good.
Mid-air, but like, why wouldn't that dude just cut her neck right there? Because that was the only thing blocking it.
He was shocked. I don't know.
Yeah, like the one I did like was where she throws Kylo her lightsaber, and he turns it on through that guy's eye socket.
That's so good.
That was real
That was
good.
Great. I could just turn it on and turn it back off.
Yeah, and then the one where he kicks someone into a fan blade. That was pretty good.
I'm looking up. I'm gonna try and see if I can find some of these gifs.
Let's see. They blow you up today. You blow them up tomorrow. It's just business.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a good line right after that.
You're
Uh,
wrong, and then you're
yep,
wrong, and so it's like maybe.
maybe. I
Uh,
that's oh, I love that, and I hope they deliver on that in the next movie.
It's a shame. I'm gonna be honest. I really would like. I want to know what Rian Johnson would have done for episode 9.
I mean, I'm sure at some point we'll find out.
It's going back to Abrams, who made Force, which was very safe, very very clean. Um,
Yep.
you know, versus this, which is doing a lot of different shit. You know, but yeah, so some
Ooh, I can watch a GIF form of the Lego version of this fight. Choreography's okay in that. I don't know.
but, so yeah, the fight, like, it's okay. It's not like there are a couple of moments that are cool. There are a couple of moments that are like, what?
It helps that it's like this momentous moment of good guy and bad guy are fighting on the same side
Uh,
against these guards.
yeah, like that's the
I
part
think
of it
that's cool, and that's what allows me to ignore some of these other aspects. There's just one part where Rey like totally catches 3 of the guards' weapons with her lightsaber while not being necessarily super trained with it.
which is like, what the fuck?
Wow, like okay, they are bad.
Um,
But
which
I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot.
So, but then you find out that they know that those mini ships are there because of the code breaker.
Yep.
So they start shooting them down. But
Yep.
then Holdo's like, "Oh shit, that's bad."
Yep.
And I'm so mad this such rad moment happens to such a shit character.
And this was suggested like because of the whole Akbar stuff. Had Akbar lived and had Akbar taken over, at least then he could have had that scene.
Yeah.
That was a
So
great moment. Character.
Kylo still being a fuckboy in the ship though, as Holdo's attempting to do that. And then they're having a struggle over the lightsaber. They're both force pulling it
Yep.
to each other.
They almost joined.
Yep.
It was like, "Come with me, please, 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 to the dark side."
Yep.
Or he didn't
Please.
say to the dark side, but like just to rule together.
Yeah, just come with me. Don't worry about the dark side. Here, Finn and Rose are gonna have their heads cut off with electric axes.
Yep.
Which, okay.
Intended to make it hurt.
Yeah.
To make it hurt. So
Which, I mean, yeah, that probably hurt a lot. Having your neck sawed through with just pure straight electricity.
like blasters are too good. Like I feel like blasters would suck.
Blaster would suck a lot, but not like. Okay, so you've been shocked before, even if like
Yeah.
it's just static. Now imagine having that just saw through your neck.
That might be bad. I don't like the idea of like a blaster into my gut.
Yeah, that's pretty bad too. But like, yeah, but okay. So you have this little push pull thing after Kylo's fuckboy attempt fails. And then Holdo, it's so anime.
It's a great
It's
scene.
a great fucking moment. Like there's, like I remember seeing that in the theater. I was like, whoa.
To an undeserving character, but it's a
But
fantastic
yeah,
scene.
like it's a fucking set piece and a half. Like it's not ruined by the character behind it.
Nope.
It's lessened. You know,
Right.
it could have been Akbar. It could have been Leia.
It was still incredibly impactful. Like when it cuts to silence, I remember that in the theater specifically.
Yeah,
It was like, whoa, oh, whoa. Yeah, no, that was a good scene.
right. And then Finn fight, and then they're on their way escaping, but they get curtailed by Phasma and her crew. But then BB-8 saves them.
Mm-hmm.
And then Phasma and Finn have a one-on-one that Finn wins. Barely. Gets lucky with some help from BB-8 and Rose. Then they go down. So then
They also show like Phasma's eye a little bit.
Yeah, you'd see a little
He's
bit
like,
under the helmet.
"You will always be scum," and he responds, "Rebel scum."
Which, cheesy, but
I love it.
Loved it. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta love the cheese.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta lay it on thick for fun.
Yep.
and that was a fun moment.
Yep.
Just like you always be scum, rebel scum.
Yeah, that's good.
It's good
Little
shit.
little Disney.
Then you have Hux and Kylo's little power struggle there.
Yep.
He force chokes him. You presume to command my army. Our supreme leader is dead. We have no ruler.
Yep.
And then Kylo's like, the supreme leader is dead. And then long live the supreme leader.
Yep.
So now they're on the planet, and they're waiting, and they go to the base, and they see the Kylo squad, what's left of the First Order, coming down with their AT-ATs, AT-STs, and like one ship. On the planet that's oddly enough made of salt. I don't know why they felt the need to comment that, but okay.
Right? They just like they'll be curious.
Yeah.
I mean, Hoth, you kind of gathered it was snow.
Yeah. So they have all the speeders bust out. What's left of the skiffs, and those skiffs go to attack the First Order. And they're just pieces of shit, barely holding together.
Yep.
And they're dodging bullets, they're dodging stuff, and they start sending out ships after them. They start taking a few out, and they're like, okay, we gotta disengage. But then, what happens? What comes? The Millennium Falcon.
Yep.
With Rey and Chewie and company.
Yeah.
And with that help, Finn
goes... They really hate that ship.
Yep. Perfect line.
Good line.
They hate that ship. And they have a real good piloting scene going through the caves with it. It was fantastic.
Yep.
And, Finn going for his hero's death, I really liked it. I thought that's how they were going to send him out. And I was
I would have been bummed if that was how it went, but
I would have preferred that to this alternative that they gave us. I'm so, Rose ruins so much of this fucking movie for me.
This scene, I understand what they're trying to say, but can we not...
Right.
Do this suicide attempt at a save?
Yeah, no.
Finn... So I guess the question is, would it have worked if Finn had gotten in there, and if it would have, how much time would he have bought them?
I think it buys them a lot of time. Because that
seemed like the only thing that could break through.
Yeah, so that buys them a lot of time. So they're saving that cheesy line.
If it didn't work, it would have been a real bummer because Finn is also part of that group that is integral to the whole rebellion at this point, the resistance.
But it's just saving what you love, a bad cheesy line. And then the kiss, and then...
Which, again, that whole line is supposed to be, calling back to, the very first thing between Poe and Finn's storylines, which is, let's not kill the Dreadnought while killing a bunch of our guys. It's not about destroying what we hate, but saving what we love. And I get the sentiment. It's just, I wish they had done it not with this scene.
And I don't think it's executed well here either, because this is one soldier. This is essentially a soldier, a top-line soldier, but still a soldier, in exchange to stop the entire enemy army for hours on end, possibly.
At least, yeah.
That's not a good comparison.
They needed 2 miracles to get out of that. And granted, they did get those, but... you can't count on that.
Yeah. So, Luke, in quotes, shows up. So no one's heard the distress signal, or no one's responded to it. They've all heard it. No one responded to it, though. And Leia's like, well, this is the end. And then Luke comes out.
Yep.
And he's just, they have a little bit of idle chit-chat.
Yep.
And then he goes to...
he winks at C-3PO.
Yeah. Mark Hamill being the A-plus actor that he is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame this man didn't get more work over his career.
I mean, he did, just not, top line work.
Yeah, like this man deserved a lot more top line work than he got.
Oh, but he's such a good voice actor.
He's a great voice actor. Like he's an
Oh,
amazing voice actor, but like I would love to see Mark Hamill. Like we were robbed of like 25 years of Mark Hamill being in top A-list movies, in my opinion. For some reason, they just didn't want to cast him. It's
I haven't seen
unfortunate.
some of his other films.
I've seen him enough as the Joker to know,
He's a fantastic Joker.
and he does really good as Luke, and especially in this. I loved his performance as Luke in this. So he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go mess up your kid. Here are these things from the Millennium Falcon."
Yep.
So
Yeah, and then he walks out,
yep. And he goes and he walks out,
and he is like everyone's down. They think this is over, and then none other than Luke Skywalker himself appears out of nowhere, and then walks out to meet the First Order.
which I love how this goes back to his quote earlier in the movie. What do you want me to do? Face down the whole First Order with by myself with a laser sword?
Yep.
Uh, and just the song that goes with it, that do do do, yeah, just that. Oh God, it's so good.
It's really good.
And then Kylo, fire every single gun we have on that man.
Yes.
Yeah. I love how he's wearing old black, his old
Yep.
Jedi Master black.
It's got a little bit of white there.
Yeah,
Otherwise, yeah.
but yeah,
Yep.
mostly black. And they all fire on him, just do 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 do. It's like a good 2 minutes of it, and then he goes down to meet him.
Yeah, because he just emerges unscathed.
Yeah, he just brushes it off. Beautiful.
He does. Yeah,
moment.
he does it like a yeah.
Like, I'm the Jedi Master, son. Like,
I think that's another Disney touch, but still good.
I really loved. Until you figure out what the gimmick is, I really wondered how the fuck he survived that.
I was like, this is some anime ass. What?
I'm like, Force Shield? Force
Against all that, maybe?
Force time skip? Like, did he just
The Halo 3 throw down the shield and
Yeah. And then, they've realized what Luke's doing. Poe does, at least. So Skywalker's doing this so we can survive. There's got to be a way out of this mine. And then they all go look for it. And Rey's trying to move the rocks.
Yep.
She's like, shit. It is partially about moving rocks.
Yep. Yep.
Which, they meet up with Finn and they hug and they're all cool.
After, lifting all the rocks.
Yep. And then Luke...
Which is a cool scene in itself.
Yes, it is. And then Luke and Kylo have their moment. And, like, another throwback to earlier in the movie. Everything you just said about that is wrong.
Oh, yeah, about how the rebellion's dead or whatever, or the resistance is dead. And it's like...
And then quoting Obi-Wan, if you strike me down in anger, I'll always be with you. Just like your father.
Yeah.
Just egg it on, Skywalker. Lay it on thick.
So good. And then,
Lay it on thick, Skywalker. God, I want to meet Mark Hamill so bad. And then Kylo slashes through him.
Yep.
But in really the most Jedi of Jedi Master techniques. Not pure pacifism.
Mm-hmm.
Just pure like using the Force in the most probably the biggest Force feat we have seen in a movie.
I think so.
He is and the movie hints that he's not there because it clearly shows a shot at his feet and the salt not moving.
Yep.
And then see you around, kid.
Yeah.
And just God, it's the most badass shit. It's like that's the Luke Skywalker I wanted.
That's so good.
I love jaded old man Luke. And And,
And
like,
then
this movie shows that he is still a badass.
yeah,
Because, like I said, his entire fight with Rey, one-handed.
yep,
You know, um, like, would I have liked more combat from Luke? Just to see a little more taste of that, of like, oh, like, damn.
right.
But the one moment we get to see of him really using the Force,
It was good to save him for the climax at the end.
yeah, like, it was him being like, oh shit.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a real movie of peaks and valleys for me. And they, of course, they get Luke Skywalker staring at
Two sons.
the two sons, you know, the perfect send off for him, and they have the music,
And he becomes one with the Force.
and he literally Obi-Wan's into the Force.
Yep.
All great moments, and yeah, generally was just, man, it was a real good way to end that man's life.
Yeah.
Canon. And then they're like, okay, Kylo's like, okay, we're gonna go off and okay, well, we found the stuff from Han Solo's ship, but it was fake. It's still there, and the Jedi texts are still there.
Yep.
On the ship, which is why Yoda burned them. And then you have the thing with the little fucking kid. And yeah, it's a homemade one. It's not a real one.
Right.
And they get beaten and yelled at, and then he force pulls a broom lightly
Yep.
to him.
Yep. And that's how it ends.
That's how it ends. I felt like that last bit didn't need to happen.
What? What are you talking about?
I fucking.
That's what the whole movie. That's what the whole next movie's gonna be about.
I don't think it is.
Really?
No.
What?
I think that they're gonna go back because different director, different writer.
Maybe.
I mean, we'll see. Of
The whole
course.
point is about inspiring hope.
Yeah, and I think they'll do that, but in different ways. Anyway.
That'd be kind of fucked if they did that force pull and then they just let that be nothing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be necessarily surprised though. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Roller coaster of a movie.
Yeah, real fucking hell of a movie, man.
Yeah.
Real different. So I'm gonna rank mine.
Rank it.
I'm gonna get my overall thoughts on it. Like I said, I think it's peaks and valleys. The peaks of this movie are so unbelievably high. Anything that involves the fucking Jedi in this is so good. From the start of when Luke Skywalker hucks that lightsaber off a cliff to the end where, you know, they all get in the ship and you see the text and the broken lightsaber, it's like, all right. And then Kylo, like, seeing the rest of those dice disappear. All that Jedi stuff, great. Dear Lord, does the casino shit and the Rose shit and the Holdo stuff suck. And it sucks bad. Fiercely bad. But the peaks are so good that it drowns out most of that bad for me.
Okay.
Like I can sit down and be like, yeah, if someone wants to do me a favor and do a cut of this where it's just the Jedi shit, please.
Fine. Yeah.
So this is where I'm gonna go from rank it. Bottom of the list, Attack of the Clones. Horrible, awful, shitty film. Only good part is the last 20 minutes. Eat me. Then Return of the Jedi. Ewok stuff, very weak, and then the whole conflict is, you must be bad, but I want to be good. Aaron said it perfectly. Next up, we have Phantom Menace. Not as flawed as we once thought. Great end fight scene.
Yep.
Some of the world building stuff is cool. Qui-Gon's highlight, pod racing, really underrated.
Yep.
Next up, Force Awakens.
Underrated.
Underrated. Sorry, yeah.
Underrated?
I think pod racing's underrated. A lot of people don't talk about it.
Okay. We don't talk in the same circles.
Okay. Fair enough. Uh, so, so let's see. That was pod racing.
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. Great reboot for the franchise. Very safe but fun. Very safe but fun. Good time the entire way through. The Marvel jokiness stuff was good. It was great to see Harrison Ford back, but it was great that they allowed enough time to see the new actors establish themselves.
Yep.
Okay. Next up, Last Jedi. Like I said, peaks and valleys. The peaks are good enough for me to where it overrides the valleys.
Wow.
I really like Old Man Luke. Like, I like Old Man Luke enough to where might want to cosplay Old Man Luke. I love a lot of the small details with him. I like some of the chances they took. It's just unfortunate that Rose sucks so much. I'm even willing to tolerate the Admiral Holdo stuff just because it produced a really good moment. But Rose just... That entire casino scene, its heavy-handed bullshit, was just painful. It was painful when the 2 times I saw it in the theater. It's painful now. God, it sucks. Then I gotta go New Hope. It's the classic, the OG, paced great, great film. Then we're going Empire. Took everything from that, improved upon it. And, probably most quoted movie fucking ever at this point. And then finally, Revenge of the Sith. 2 hours of just fucking amazing. So, yeah.
To the point where it felt like it was... I think like they had to like cram some info in because they were like, we really shouldn't make this movie longer, but we have more going on.
We need to, like, we are cramming as much in as possible, please.
Good movie.
So yeah. Anyway, that's mine.
That is your list.
Yep. What do you got, buddy?
So at the bottom of my list is Return of the Jedi, because it is the culmination of at this point, like going back to the original trilogy can be tough just because it's a little more simplistic because it had to be, and it was like, yeah, the Ewok scenes, from the moment the Ewoks enter and every scene that the Ewoks are in, I'm just like annoyed.
Fair.
And then yeah, it's the conflict of like, there's drama between Luke and Vader, and that's obviously important, but the dialogue is very much like, I think you have good in you, just be good. And it's like, it's too late to be good. I am bad. You become bad with me. No. That's a lot of that movie. So that's that. Next up for me is Last Jedi. I cannot get over the fact that half of the movie, if not over half of the movie, is needless problems. Okay. Absolutely unnecessary. If everyone had just been talking to each other like a team would in this kind of situation, like they had been up to this point, they would have avoided the problems of half of this movie.
Fair enough.
And Admiral Holdo is a needless character who never needed to enter in and be dismissive of these integral people to the Resistance and be super secretive for no reason, as far as we know. They've been talking, openly about this the whole time. They didn't have to go to the casino scene at all if they had just done things as normal. And so the Jedi stuff is fantastic. Again, the highs of this movie are great, but half of my time watching this movie felt needless, frustrating, and it left me with a sour taste in my mouth at the end.
Okay.
And Rose has her own problems. Like, I understand what they were trying to go for with her, but it could have been done better all around.
Go on.
I understand Rose, like the purpose of Rose, whereas Holdo's like, what? Anyway. And then the movie teaches the wrong lesson. It's like, just shut up and follow your orders. It's like, talk to us. Let's figure. Okay. Anyway.
By the way, real quick pause before we get to the next one.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank you for tuning in as as Aaron ranks all the Star Wars movies up to Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
Y'all have been watching for a long time. Please give us a follow, give us some likes, shares, whatever you can do to help spread the word of this fantastic show. And also, Director Smiley says, "Have a good night, everyone." But we're not
Have
done.
a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you for
tuning in, Director.
Yeah. I loved your questions. God, Last Jedi. Anyway, then next on my list, after that, also I agree that the highs of Last Jedi are fantastic, and that's what puts it up above Return of the Jedi. Like, the lows of Last Jedi are worse than anything I feel about Return of the Jedi. But the highs of Last Jedi are amazing. So then, next up is Phantom Menace. And Phantom Menace, I'm sorry, it's a tie. It's basically a tie. Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones.
I can't believe you have Attack of the Clones that high.
Because, look, again, there's just really good, important information about... I explained this in previous episodes.
I know. It doesn't...
It's a boring movie. It is a boring movie.
It is.
And you watch Anakin Skywalker, it's sand. I hate sand. What I do like is feeling your skin.
Puts the lotion in the basket.
There's some creepy stuff in there.
Yep.
But it's what I find fascinating about... again, I'm talking about both of these at the same time because it's basically a tie for me the more I think about it, is there's just good information in 2. There's a lot of, like, how did the Republic fall and how did the Empire rise while the Jedi Council's going on? And, like, while all this stuff is boring and it is not good for, like, an entertaining blockbuster movie, like, it explains a lot of stuff and it shows a lot of it happening, and I just found it fascinating. And they talked about trending towards democracy or dictatorship and how that ties into the light side dark side struggle beyond Jedi, but just extending the people as a whole. And again, it talks about a lot of that boring scenes up until Mace Windu, but so yeah, and then I tied that with Phantom Menace because Phantom Menace is a very entertaining movie. I enjoyed that movie a lot. I can't stand the Gungans at all, but like you are with Last Jedi, I'm willing to ignore that for a lot of the other highs in that movie. Qui-Gon Jinn's fantastic. Young Obi-Wan Kenobi's cool. Just pod racing, Darth Maul, all that good stuff. Next on my list is Force Awakens.
Yep.
Force Awakens is a great start to the series, to this new series, like you said. Very entertaining. Liked all the new characters. I was initially put off by how it kind of took some notes from from A New Hope, but when the theme is like, when you don't take care of evil entirely, it just kind of pops back up the same. And I was like, okay, yeah. And then, Force Awakens was great. I really enjoyed that. Next up is Empire Strikes Back, which I enjoyed thoroughly, of course. Lots of good stuff in there. Entertaining from start to finish. But above that are 2 movies that I love very much for somewhat similar reasons. Or I guess opposing reasons. Basically tied, but I'm going to put second Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
And Revenge of the Sith just gets everything right when 2 hours and more. And it's episode 1 and 2 just built up and established and everything up, and then Revenge of the Sith, you watch it all happen for the entire movie, and it's just all the dominoes falling at once, and you're just like sitting there the whole time, just and especially after you watched all those movies before, it's heartbreaking, but hell of a ride.
All right.
And number one is A New Hope, because it's the beginning of it all. It's the discovery of learning, being introduced to the adventure. I love that movie, yeah. So.
All right. So that's all right. I'll give the chat about 2 minutes here to catch up to us. Say anything they want to say.
I am wondering how Rise of Skywalker is going to be. Because J.J. Abrams is taking it back, like you were saying. He's probably going to play it a little safe.
I kind of, from everything I've heard, it's going to be a shit show.
What? Where are you hearing this?
So I've heard multiple. Apparently, there have been leaks of the script. There have been they've had to do reshoots last minute. So yeah, I've heard. Apparently they called George Lucas in to help edit it.
You don't bring in George Lucas to edit, but okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I've heard a lot of bad, but the internet could be full of shit. So
that's the thing, and that's what the whole point. Not the whole point, but part of the point of us doing We're Smarter Than This is that we may have had preconceived notions about some of these movies that were wrong. And I think for both of us, at least some of it was not correct when we were, our first initial impressions of those movies were not correct. And coming around again now, hindsight 2020, I think we've changed our opinions on certain movies and certain aspects of movies.
Oh yeah, Phantom Menace and Revenge were way better than I expected. Last Jedi, not as high as I remember.
Sure.
Return of the Jedi, definitely not as high as I remember.
Yeah.
And yeah, Attack of the Clones, still a giant piece of shit.
There are redeeming qualities. I would rather watch Phantom Menace. I would actually rather watch 6 movies.
I'd rather watch literally every other Star Wars movie, including the Star Wars stories. At least that I know so far, because I don't have Rise of Skywalker to know.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
But here's what I will say: I did enjoy watching all these. These are all good movies, I think.
I enjoyed watching all of them except for Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones was not necessarily the most entertaining, but when you're deeply invested in what's going on with the Star Wars world, and you're able to just push past the boringness.
Yep.
There's some redeeming qualities. So.
Yep.
Whew.
Yep. So yeah, anybody for last chance for follows. Please follow us. We intend to do a bunch of other stuff like this as we continue on with our media journey.
Yep.
Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. You wonderful people.
Thank you.
And you have a good night.
May the Force be with you.
Damn Skippy.